Hey guys, it's me, Mia, and welcome back to my channel. So finally, I have my Paletteful packs box for the month of June. So let's look at the contents inside. Okay, all this pretty purple shredded paper. And purple's my favorite color in case I didn't tell you guys. I'm just gonna set that right there. Okay, so here is a micron pen, Pigma Micron 05, and I love these pens. I can always use more. This is another Pigma pen. I'm not familiar with this type. BB. Pentel 0.8. Never used Pentel before. Another Pentel 0.1. Jelly roll. I have some of these. I can always use more. And this is a size 10. So, koi coloring brush pens. So, I do have a koi watercolor set, but that's the only koi product I've ever used. I've never used their brush pens, but I will today. Okay. And here we have Stonehenge Aqua. And I've seen this brand at the art supply store before. Like, I've seen it in like a Sayo size, like 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And this is, I guess this is 8 by 10, but they have cold press, hot press, and cold press heavy. I wonder what the difference is between these two. I mean, there's descriptions, but This heartily textured all-natural paper has the versatility to handle myriad techniques and the heft to take the plainer watercolorist wherever they wish to go. So I'm wondering if cold press heavy is just another name for mixed media paper. I don't know. But this is pretty thin. There's not a lot of paper in here, so I guess this is just a sample pack. I'll take this out. See which is which. Okay. So, great. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is cold press and this is cold press heavy. This feels very thick. It's very, very thick. I'll try to show you guys. So this has to be the cold press heavy because it's heavy. Okay, and here's the textures. And here's the cold press paper. No, hot press. I'm sorry. This is hot press paper. I've only used hot press once, and it was an Arches brand that was on clearance because it was like a block of hot press watercolor paper, and it was on clearance because, you know, the packaging got damaged. So I was like, oh, this is a good deal. Let me try hot press paper, and I didn't really like it. You know, I just felt like, well, I didn't feel, I noticed that the paint just sat on top of the paper. I know some artists prefer hot press because, you know, they get smooth results. But I've always liked cold press paper. But anyway, enough rambling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to cut these 3 sheets down to a smaller size, probably maybe 5 by 7. because as you guys know, I like to do swatches and play around with the mediums and see how well they do on painting surfaces. So that's what I'm gonna do, so let's get started. guys, it's me, Mia. So I am back, and before I left, I told you guys that I was going to cut those 8x10 sheets into different sizes. So these are cut into 5x7, and I was going to use these at first, but then I decided, you know, I'll just use the scraps that I have left. So that's what I did. I experimented on the scraps of paper. And I think I mentioned before that I have never used Stonehenge paper before, but look what I found in my drawer. And I told you guys you can get these from art supply stores, but I had bought this months ago from the art supply and I just never got a chance to using it. But this is the Aqua Cold Press Heavy, which I happen to like more than these two. This is cold press, hot press, heavy cold press. So, let me explain to you guys what I did. So you know I like to swatch out colors. And I started out just scribbling the color on the paper and then using water to see how well the color would spread. So it did okay on the cold press. Not as good on the hot press, but it did great on the heavy cold press. So then I decided, okay, well let me try blending two different colors together. It did okay here, just alright on the hot press, but it did great on the heavy paper. So then while I was using my paintbrush, a drop of water fell right here, and I said, I know, why don't I paint water drops? So I painted a water drop, and I used one of the pens to do the shadows and the Jelly Roll pen for the highlights. So that's how that turned out, and I think it looks great. Hot press, and just okay on the cold press paper. So I've been learning how to do modern calligraphy. I still have a long ways to go, not the best, but that doesn't matter. So I tried it on the cold press paper, it was okay. Did the calligraphy on the hot press, and it was great because, you know, the texture is smooth. And this one, it turned out alright, but because this is heavy and there's more texture, I could feel the friction. So for calligraphy, pardon me, I thought the hot press paper was great. So by that point, I was really starting to like the heavy cold press paper. So I decided to do a color wheel. And so I just put the colors down and then just blended it with a wet brush, and this is how it turned out. And I knew that technique would not work as well on the hot press paper. So I did something different. I wet the paper first, and then I applied the color, and it blended very well like this. And I forgot to mention, but these brushes, they're blendable, odorless, transparent color, and they're water-based ink. So I've used, I guess they're called, brush markers. I've used brush markers before, just not the Koi brand. But, you know, I enjoy using brush markers whenever I'm making cards for friends and family. But anyway, let's move on to this. Let me start with this one, and this one. So, you probably were wondering what I was trying to do. So, I was trying to recreate a watercolor wash on these pieces of paper right here. So, this one didn't turn out right the first time. I'm not sure why. Well, I think I do know why, because I tried again the second time and it turned out better. Turned out like this. And I think like after you spray the color with the spray bottle, you put the paper on, and I believe the key is to just move the piece of paper around on top of the color in the water, so that way you do get a decent watercolor wash. Whereas with this one, I didn't move it around. I just sat it down on top, left it there, lifted it up, and it gave me texture instead of a wash. But as I said, I did it a second time and it turned out like this, and then I tried different colors and the background turned out like this. And I decided to try again with this one, and so I did get the watercolor wash, but you can still see the texture from the first attempt. But I don't know, it looks alright. And this is the little masterpiece that I decided to do something simple. And yeah, you guys, there you have it. So this was a fun little box to have for the month of June, and happy first day of summer. That's why I wrote hello summer right here. And thanks for stopping by, and come back again to see my videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!